What's up, guys? Welcome to your Bitcoin update. We're also going to be taking a look at Litecoin and Ethereum at the end. Could it be a bull market to 200,000 or a bear market to 9,000? I know that's a huge spread, but we're going to take a look at some confirmation areas to watch for. And we're going to also, before we get into all that, we're going to take a look at the smaller time frames and look at my more immediate targets and some confirmation areas to watch for that'll tell us which way Bitcoin might be headed. So definitely stick around for the whole video, and don't forget we have a free Discord group. There's a link below in the description. Definitely check it out if you haven't already, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Don't forget, we do a free Ledger Nano S hard wallet giveaway every Monday. All you have to do to enter to win is click the little subscribe button right here, scroll down, tick that notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos, smash that like button, and leave a comment below. I'll pick a random comment from a random video on Monday. All right, let's take a look at the 1 hour chart. So we've been watching this rising channel here. We have came back up and tested it. If we break back inside this and gain support, then we could be coming back up to, if you look here, we had this wedge drawn in here. We could be coming back up to retest the bottom of that wedge, which would be around 59.1. We did already have a retest here, so I don't think that's necessary for us to go back up there. But we'll keep an eye on it. Also, if we put the Fibonacci retracements on here from this swing high to this swing low, if we look at where the 0.618 is, it's around 53,285. So there's a possibility we get up to that range. But another way I want to look at it is if we use this as our swing high. Let's move that down since we are in the smaller time frames. And we are getting rejected right at the golden pocket zone as of right now. We're also getting squeezed in between the EMAs here. Let me get this out of the way. As you can see, our 200 EMA is our resistance right now, around 51,270. And our support is around 50,780, which is the 0.8 fib. A break of one of these and an open close of the hourly is going to most likely tell us which way. So if we open and close an hourly candle above 51,300, then most likely we could be headed at 53 range. And if we close below, well, I'm going to use the 55 EMA for downward confirmation. If we open and close a 1 hour below 50,450, then we're most likely headed down to our target that we've had of around 40,700. And all that is a measured move of the break of this rising channel. So that's what I'm looking at there. But keep in mind, if we do get back inside this channel and get support here, we could be headed up all the way to the 59 range, possibly a double top. But if we did come up to retest the bottom of this wedge here, that would most likely be a bear trap, just a little wick above our old high before coming down. So be aware of that. There's always a possibility it continues to 63.6, which would be retesting the top of this channel also. If we do that, I think we go much higher. But as of right now, I'm still looking for this 40,000 area, at least a test down there. Could go lower, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's take a look at what's going on here. And if you look at the RSI in the 4 hour, sorry, it's kind of choppy, but we are making higher highs. This could get up all the way to the 53.9, which is the top of this old rising channel in the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour, so it's a little bit different than the 1 hour here. If we were to come up and get a wick and get rejected here at this 53.9, we would still have bearish divergence here. Once we break 54,223, that'll invalidate the bearish divergence. So pretty much it's going to depend on where this closes here. But as of right now, if we do, whoops, put this back down here. If you look at the bigger picture here, we're also going to take a look at an Elliott Wave count too in the macro. So stick around. Like I said, we will be looking at the macro. But if we take from the swing high to swing low right now, we drop past the 0.236 fib, and right now that's giving us rejection. Let's take a look at our EMAs. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of my EMAs. I use the 8, the 13, the 21, 55, and 200. Right now we are getting rejected on the 55, which is around 51,170. The EMAs are turning up, so if these can cross like they did here going down, these EMAs cross, that's going to be bullish. Then we can start looking for our higher targets. But like I said, let's keep an eye on this $53,000 to $54,000 range. Should get a rejection there at least, and that could be the reversal and continue back down. So keep an eye on that. Also, if we look, if we come back down to test the bottom of this channel, our 0.618 fib is right around that $40,000 range. A break of that, let's take a look at the bigger picture here. A break of that, if we look at this instead of a rising channel, the sticker white trend line, looking at this as a rising wedge. If we do a measured move that way, if we were to break down from this 40,000 area, could be going back down to somewhere in the $16,000 range. Obviously, until one of these trend lines break here, that doesn't mean anything. Looking at the super bullish case, if we could break the 60 to 61,000, these are confirmation areas, guys. But if we do break that, get support back on top of this trend line, we could be looking as high as 83.9. Now that doesn't mean it goes down in a day or two or up in a day or two. This takes time. These are 4-hour candles, guys. There's a lot of candles in there. Takes months for these things to happen. Although if we do the more bullish prediction up, way up, that happens pretty quick because it'll be all FOMO buying. But beware, it comes down just quick as it goes up when you do get a FOMO run like that. If you guys are interested in trading, check out Prime XBT, my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you. You don't get all the scam wicks you get on the other exchanges. I'll leave a margin tutorial up top on how to use their margin, and you can use my promo code Savy50 to get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit. So if you put in 1,000, you get 500 bonus to use towards your margin. Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. I have links down below also. Even if you already have an account, you can still use my promo codes. But anyways, looking at the fib channels I have drawn here, as you can see right here where we got rejected, right about here, you can see before, back in 2013, we got a wick above that. So if we do get, and this is the 2-day chart, guys, but if we get a new all-time high and get above this trend line, and we open and close a daily above this trend line, depending on where we hit it, right now it lies around 59.6. So if we get an open and close of a daily, we could go as high as people are saying of that $200,000 Bitcoin or near that, and that would just be coming back up to this top trend line. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't, and I explained a lot in yesterday's video. If you haven't watched it, I talked about a little about micro strategy and things like that. So check it out if you get a chance. But if we do come back down to retest this trend line, if you guys have been watching my videos also, I was looking at a 450-day low cycle, and that would be putting Bitcoin's next low in June. If we hit one of these higher ones in June, we could still continue up towards the end of the year and have one more big push up. And we'll take a look at that in the Elliott Wave also right after this. But if we came back to test this fib, sometime in June would be around the 36,000 range. If we came down to the next fib line, we would be looking at around 20,600 area. If we came all the way back down and retested this one, could be around 11,000. Now, this I don't think is going to happen by June, so I just wanted to put that there to give you an idea where these are. Now let's take a look at the Elliott Wave. Well, sorry about that. First, we're going to look at the 3-day. If you guys want to learn how to use like the EMAs and how I like to use them, I'll leave a tutorial on that up top. There's a few different tutorials in there. It might help you out with breakouts and stuff like that. But anyways, this is the 3-day. This is what's keeping me bearish as of right now. As you can see, this is a bearish engulfing candle. The wicks are the top wicks higher than the prior candle, lower wicks lower than the prior candle wick. Body engulfs the whole body of the candle before it. That's bearish engulfing. Now, we could go up to the 50%, and we're almost there, 50% of the body, and that would be right around that 53,000 range. But also, we are getting support on the 8. So a drop below this 48,000 and a close below that's going to get pretty ugly pretty fast. I believe we might be headed towards that. And again, these are 3-day candles. A lot can happen in each one of these candles. So, but if you also see we're making higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI, that is bearish divergence. So there's a lot of bearish signs going on in the 3-day for me. And talking about that Elliott Wave, let's zoom out a little bit. And if we look at this as a wave 1 and a wave 2, and this came down to the 0.786 extension. And this as a wave 3, if it's finished, then we could be looking at, if we look at right around June, that, well, let's look at this as done first. If this is done, you know, the bear market could last till 2022, 2023, and we could get a fourth wave down to as low as $14,000, $15,000 range. If this breaks, that invalidates it all, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Well, actually, we wouldn't be able to break the $20,000 range. So if we went all the way, made a bear market for all of wave 4 until sometime in 2022, possibly even 2023, then our next leg up would be our 5th wave, which would be shorter than 3. So, you know, it could be anywhere. Then we could see the 80 or whatever in a few years from now. But let's take another look at it. If we look at this still as wave 3 and it's not done yet, we would do a Elliott Wave count. Let's put another one on here as this being wave 1. And remember, these are subwaves of wave 3. There's always 5 waves within 5 waves within each wave. So if we have a temporary top here and we go to our June low, where's June? So June would be over in this area. So our June low could bring us down to, let's say, usually when wave 2 is a deep correction, wave 3 is a shallow correction. So in the bullish case, we already came down and tagged this once, but it should be about the same time frame as 2 took us. So if we look up here, when we go into June, 45 could be the end of it. That's the 0.236 fib, and then we get our rally to the end of the year up to, you know, 65 to 80,000, whatever. Now also we could have a deeper correction to the 0.382 fib and still have a rally towards the end of the year. It could go as low as the 0.5, which is 30,000. 0.382 would be about 37,000. And then we could go down to the 0.618, which is the golden pocket zone, around 24 to 25,000. Well, actually it would be between 22.5 and 24.2. And the 0.786, which is highly unlikely because we already had a deep correction for 1. Both of these 1.212s were deep, but that would be around the 14,700. It's still possible because then we wouldn't come down lower than wave 1. But if we break this wave 1 at any point, then we could be seeing a much lower Bitcoin, and we'll take a look at those. And that's because of Elliott Wave theory. Wave 4 can never be deeper than the top of wave 1 here. So keep that in mind. And let's take a look at something else I'm looking at right now. The funding rate is not that bad. It's still favoring the bears just a little bit. So we'll see what happens here. But let's zoom in on the daily and look at how these EMAs are before I take a look at the possible formation. So the 8 EMA is around a 51.5. 13 EMA right now is around 50,500. And our 21 EMA is around the 48.4. Then if we go all the way down to our 21, if we were to come down and retest that, that's also right around that 40 to 41,000 range. So we definitely could be looking for a retest of this range. Now let's go look at this just as a pure speculation possibility. This could, if it was to form a head and shoulders here with the neckline right in this area could get us down to a $9,000 Bitcoin. I'm also going to show you some more bearish cases. All right, so let's take a look. I've kind of made these a little more clear, just so you can see this dotted trend line here is the second touch in the rising channel before the breakout up here. Every time Bitcoin breaks out, goes parabolic above this rising channel, it forms a triangle, and that's usually the big boys sell, then they'll buy back low, get everybody bullish again, then they'll sell again, buy back low, get everybody bullish, sell again. And once that triangle breaks, you can take a measured move of it, and you can do these in smaller time frames too. These patterns work great, but we did a 84% correction. As you can see, the measured move got us right down to that, which dropped below this yellow trend line here, but that got us to our low over here in 2018. Now let's take a look at 2019. Did almost the same thing, had a rising channel. From the second touch of the rising channel, I put the trend line across, we broke it, and what did we do at the top? We formed a channel. A triangle. If we take a measured move of that triangle and we bring it to where it broke the triangle right here, it gets us down near our low over here. And what was that? That was a 72% correction. Now let's take a look at what's going on right now. This one obviously is much more parabolic, but it does look like a fractal. As you can see, the second top drew the trend line across. If we were to go down below that, we could be looking at an $88,000 to $9,000 Bitcoin. Of course, this is invalidated. If we make a new high, the triangle could be way up here, the bottom could be way up here. But this is just speculation, showing you guys how tops form. And if this was to be the top, we could see something like this, get another push up, down. It could, we'll watch it. But if it does start forming, these are huge, huge money-making opportunities if you are trading it. But anyways, let's take a look at, just say it forms something like this. And like I said, this is pure speculation off this wick down here. But that would get us down to that area. And what would an 84% correction be from right where we're at right now? If this was the top, 84% would get us right around, where is that? About the 8,800 range. Somewhere in that range. So it's all pointing down to the same area. That's why I put the 9,000 in on the thumbnail. It wasn't clickbait. All these are true possibilities. You need to take a look at both the very bullish case and the bearish case and make up your own mind, because every time we've had a top here, nobody thought it was the top. So, and then if you remember, real quick before I go on to Litecoin and Ethereum, you can look back in news articles, tweets, all kinds of different stuff. Once it topped out here, people were still calling for new all-time highs throughout the whole 18. And then when it was bouncing on 6, people thought that this triangle was going to break up and it was going to be the next bull season, and it broke down. So 90% of the time, what everybody's screaming on Twitter, what everybody's talking about everywhere, when there's huge bullish news, some of the most bullish news in this whole bull run was in the bear market. This is when the real bullish news came out, all through this, and it didn't help the price at all. And as you guys know, we are getting tons and tons and tons of bullish news now. Another thing I want to talk about, both of these run-ups here, they say that was just retail. Well, up here, the CMEs were introduced and people could short Bitcoin. So the big boys had been in it up here. But anyways, they just don't talk about it. And another thing, if people are big companies, if they're going to tweet about what they're buying and whatever, there's usually a different reason behind that. They're not trying to help you get rich. They are trying to get rich themselves. And by them getting popular and tweeting and can move a market the way they want it to move, they can use that to their advantage. And that's not to say they want it to keep going the way they want to make the crowd do the opposite of what they're doing. So if they're trying to pump it, then they're exiting their positions. If they're trying to dump it, then they're probably trying to buy low. So keep that in mind. But anyways, they say this was all retail, and then retail FOMO'd and sold. Well, same thing here, all retail pump, FOMO'd and sold. Well, this, and now they're like, everybody's saying, you know, institutions are in, institutions are in. Well, for one, there's the huge institutions aren't in. The ones that are in are playing a game, in my opinion, and they will sell out too, just like anybody else. They want profits. And if they understand markets, which most of the big money does, this isn't the area they buy, guys, in the parabolic rise like this. This is not when institutions invest. If they're getting in it, they're going to play it. If they're investing, they bought down here. They're not stupid, guys. Just be aware of that. Let's take a look at Litecoin. So looking at Litecoin, we have our support and resistance lines here. We talked about it yesterday. If we got back above 183, we still have a chance to get up to our target of the 271 area that we've had since we broke out here. Since we broke the 147, we did get back below it, came back above. But if we look at this as a rising wedge, let's say we don't get up there, we come down from here and we break the bottom of this wedge. That would also indicate, you know, this is if Bitcoin goes in a bear market, we could be seeing a $47 Litecoin. It's definitely a possibility. Now, if we break up, we hit our target of 271 and we continue higher, break through this, get support, could be going up to about 380,000. And that's still not breaking the all-time high. The one thing I'm looking at here is Ethereum broke its all-time high, but Litecoin hasn't. It doesn't mean it has to, but usually they tend to follow each other and do the same thing. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, all that. So let's take a look at Ethereum. So we've been watching this rising channel here. We are back inside it and we did get support. So I'm not too sure if I trust this channel anymore. Obviously, we've had wicks through it, but I'm still going to keep it here. It's still making sense. I had a bull trap up here, bear trap down here. If we come back up to retest the top of it, we could be looking at around 21,030. If that's to break, and this is the daily, guys, so this could take weeks. Nobody knows how long. But if we did break this, our target at that point would be around 27.6, depending on where we break this. Now, if we come back down and we break this, then we'd still have our target of around, it's actually a little higher than that, around $940 to $1,000. And that would be lining up with the 200 EMA. So keep that in mind. And the area to watch for Ethereum to confirm it's going to go lower is a break back below about the 1460. Open and close of a daily below there would be ugly. Confirmation of going higher. As you can see, it's just getting squeezed in the EMAs here. The 8, the 13, and the 21 are turning bearish. The 8 wants to cross 21 now. That will be pretty damn bearish there if that happens. So be cautious. Be careful. Check out my wife's webpage if you guys enjoyed the channel, inkyorimage.com. A lot of cool gift ideas on here. She does the family pictures or any saying or whatever on glass, aluminum, all these ornaments. And there is also a crypto section. So check it out. There's also a link below for that with my other affiliate links down there that help the channel out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for subscribing and hanging out and checking out the videos daily. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe by clicking the CryptoSavvy logo above my head. Smash that thumbs up, hit the bell so you get notified when I post new videos, and I will see you tomorrow.